Jenny stepped into the delicately decorated bedroom that had been her space for the past 6 weeks under Mistress's training. The pink and white hues, the feminine curtains, the canopy bed, and the distinctly feminine wardrobe showcased that this was a woman's room. Wrapped in a towel fresh from the shower, with another towel styled into a turban around her damp hair, Jenny felt the smoothness of her shaved skin, a requirement of Mistress. Today marked a significant milestone for Jenny, as she would fully dedicate herself to Mistress. This pivotal day was set to be commemorated with a special ceremony akin to a wedding. Both Jenny and Mistress would don beautiful gowns, but Jenny would kneel before Mistress, pledging her complete submission. Her family and friends would be present, potentially viewing the event as either a celebration or a humiliation for the person they had known as Jerry. Regardless of their perceptions, Jenny was eager for this day, having long anticipated it since choosing to embrace Mistress's rigorous training. Jenny had always recognized her submissive nature. In her past as Jerry, she had sought a dominant partner during her high school and college years, hoping to find someone who could meet her needs. Yet, whenever she expressed her desire to be submissive, her relationships would end as her partners chose a different path. It wasn't until after college, while exploring her interests online, that Jenny discovered Mistress. The program's local availability made it even more appealing. She quickly arranged an interview with Mistress. For the interview, Jenny dressed simply yet femininely, as instructed by Mistress: a white cotton bra, panties, pantyhose, a plain white short-sleeved blouse, a blue denim skirt, and flats. A sanitary pad in her panties signified her submissiveness and helped her stay tucked. She completed her look with a pink satin scarf and a small purse, refraining from makeup as directed. Jenny traveled by bus to the provided address, drawing a few indifferent glances along the way. She walked the final 2 blocks to a large Victorian house. An attractive young woman in a French-made outfit greeted her at the door. Jenny silently wished she could be dressed similarly. Inside, she was led to a spacious front room where Mistress awaited. Jenny entered with her eyes lowered, attempting a curtsy in front of Mistress, though her inexperience almost caused her to stumble. Mistress smiled and instructed Jenny to look up. When Jenny did, she nearly gasped at the sight of Mistress's stunning beauty. Standing before her was a striking woman in a long-sleeve, front-button white satin blouse with a pointed collar and a full black satin skirt that fell gracefully below her knees. The satin blouse accentuated Mistress's full figure, and her 5-inch black patent heels highlighted her impressive height. Her long blonde hair and makeup were flawless, and she wore gold rose earrings, a gold bracelet, and a simple gold chain necklace. Mistress's perfume was enchanting, the most feminine scent Jenny had ever experienced. After greeting Jenny, Mistress took a seat in a comfortable chair, smoothing her satin skirt beneath her. She did not offer a seat to Jenny, who remained standing throughout. Mistress outlined the training Jenny would undergo, which included learning to style her hair and makeup, and adopting a proper feminine voice. It was crucial for a submissive to dress appropriately while serving Mistress. Jenny would be trained on how to dress and serve properly. As a trainee, Jenny would wear the feminine apparel provided by Mistress and would respond to all questions or orders with "Yes, Mistress" or "No, Mistress." She was expected to appear each day with her hair and makeup done according to the technique she would learn. Jenny might serve as a French maid for Mistress's clients or, if fortunate, even serve Mistress directly. If Mistress chose not to retain Jenny after her training, her services would be auctioned to clients. The better Jenny adapted and the more knowledgeable and submissive she became, the higher the price Mistress could command. However, before Jenny could serve Mistress or any clients, she would need to undergo the rite of commitment. Mistress briefly described the rite, which involved Jenny wearing a wedding gown and kneeling to pledge her complete devotion and service. The ceremony was more impactful if witnessed by family or friends, marking her final act of free will. After detailing everything, Mistress asked if Jenny had any questions. Jenny shook her head, indicating her understanding. When Mistress asked if Jenny wanted to proceed with the submissive training, Jenny eagerly affirmed it was her lifelong desire. Mistress then presented the paperwork for Jenny to sign, acknowledging her understanding of the program's intent and consequences and her voluntary participation. Jenny also signed over her possessions, including her bank account and car, to Mistress for the training. Additionally, she signed a document granting Mistress complete control over her life. Two elegantly dressed women, also in French-made attire, witnessed Jenny's signatures. The final document was a request for a legal name change. After a moment's consideration, Mistress declared that from now on, her new submissive would be named Jenny instead of Jerry. Upon hearing her new name, Jenny smiled broadly and thanked Mistress for the name, her kindness, and for welcoming her into the submissive training program. Mistress directed Erica and Melody to take Jenny to her new room. Both Erica, the young woman who had greeted Jenny at the door, and Melody were dressed in identical black satin French-made uniforms, starched crinolines, black stockings, 4-inch black pumps, and lacy white aprons and caps. Their figures, perfectly proportioned, pressed against the satin of their uniforms. They moved with grace and poise, their hair and makeup impeccably done, embodying femininity in every action. Before Jenny left the room, Mistress pointed to the maids and highlighted what a submissive could achieve through dedication to the program. She reiterated if this was truly what Jenny wanted. Jenny turned to Mistress, lowered her eyes, curtsied, and replied, "Yes, Mistress. I wish to become the perfect submissive, just as Erica and Melody have. I will follow your guidance completely." Mistress then signaled Erica and Melody to take Jenny to her room and help her get dressed. Jenny followed Erica to her new room, and upon seeing its feminine decor, she felt reassured that she had made the right choice. Melody assisted Jenny in undressing, and though she felt a bit self-conscious being unclothed in front of the two women, Jenny recognized it as a necessary step towards her goal. While Erica tipped Jenny's clothes to be discarded, Melody led her to the bathroom and instructed her to apply depilatory cream to her body, excluding her head and inner thighs. Melody explained that Mistress required all submissives to be free of unwanted body hair. Jenny applied the cream as directed and waited for it to take effect. After 10 minutes, Melody handed her a pink shower cap and instructed her to rinse off the cream. She also provided a lady's razor for any remaining hair. As Jenny showered, she observed her body hair being washed away and felt how smooth her skin had become. Erica interrupted her thoughts, reminding Jenny to complete her tasks more quickly. After showering, Jenny dried herself with a large, fluffy pink towel. Melody applied aloe lotion to her now sensitive skin, and Erica showed her how to use feminine dusting talc and wrap her towel properly. Returning to her room, Jenny found her first outfit laid out: a padded white satin bra, garter belt, basic white satin panties, stockings, a white satin half-slip, and a simple gray cotton uniform dress with white trim. She quickly dressed and found a pair of gray 1-inch heels beside the bed. Erica and Melody observed Jenny as she dressed, offering feedback and suggestions on her appearance. Erica then seated Jenny at the vanity to apply her makeup and style her hair, while Melody explained the daily schedule. Jenny's day would begin at 6 a.m. with a shower, followed by dressing and applying makeup until she could do so independently. One of the maids would assist her with her hair until she mastered it herself. After dressing, Jenny would help prepare and serve breakfast, eating only after Mistress, Erica, and Melody had been served. She would then clean up, including washing and putting away the dishes. Mornings would be dedicated to mastering hair and makeup techniques, both for her own use and to assist her future mistress. This training also covered the application of nail polish to both fingernails and toenails. Midday tasks would mirror those of breakfast. Jenny would help with meal preparation and serving, followed by cleanup duties. Afternoons would focus on learning how to serve a mistress effectively. This could range from basic chores like cleaning, dusting, and laundry to more refined tasks such as serving tea and refreshments to guests, and providing foot massages and back rubs. Although some mistresses might incorporate intimate elements into their service, such practices were not part of the training before the rite of commitment. Jenny would not participate in preparing the evening meal but was still expected to follow proper serving protocols for Mistress, Erica, and Melody, including eating while standing. She would also handle all cleanup tasks. Evenings would involve learning about fashion, so Jenny could select appropriate attire for her mistress. This included maintaining her mistress's clothes, performing minor repairs, and hand-washing delicate items like satin lingerie and stockings. Additionally, Jenny would practice walking in progressively higher heels, with the goal of mastering 6-inch heels. Bedtime preparation was also part of the training. Jenny would learn to remove makeup and cleanse her skin thoroughly. Erica would apply various makeup products to Jenny's face, while Melody explained that Jenny might sometimes be required to sleep at the mistress's feet, possibly bound, to keep her under control. For this part of the training, Jenny would wear a satin nightgown and sleep on it and curl up at the foot of Erica's or Melody's bed. Erica would also pierce Jenny's earlobes and insert silver studs. Seeing herself with her makeup done, hair styled neatly, and dressed as a maid, Jenny felt a deep sense of happiness. This was what she had always wanted. Jenny adapted quickly to the training routine. By the end of the first week, she could apply her makeup independently. She often woke before the 6 a.m. start time, dressed in satin lingerie and her gray uniform, and applied her makeup. She still needed some help with her hair, but was improving daily. Jenny's keen sense of fashion, likely honed through observing her dates and female classmates, helped her excel in fashion choices. While she was adequate in her serving duties, she showed consistent improvement. Jenny also learned that not mastering tasks promptly could result in punishment. Initially, this took the form of a spanking, administered while Jenny held her uniform above her waist and her trainers lowered her panties. A wooden paddle would deliver the required number of strokes, and Jenny would have a pair of stained satin panties stuffed into her mouth to muffle her cries. Whenever more severe punishment was necessary, Jenny would be draped over a wooden bench, restrained so she could not move, gagged with stained panties, blindfolded with a satin hood, and subjected to more intense spanking. She would remain in this position for an hour to reflect on the behavior that led to her punishment. Once freed, she was required to kneel with her eyes downcast before Erica and Melody, thanking them for correcting her and pledging not to repeat the offense. If she did, the punishment would be even harsher. Afterward, she had to bend down and kiss the shoes of her trainers. In the first few weeks, Jenny experienced several standard spankings and a few bound spankings. On one occasion, for a perceived repeat offense, she was bound and spanked as expected. However, at the end of the first hour, instead of being released, she was subjected to another round of spanking. By the time the second hour ended, she was spanked a third time. Naturally, her bottom was very sore. Melody explained that this approach was designed to ensure that the submissive learned from her mistakes and avoided repeating them. Erica hoped Jenny had grasped the lesson intended by this punishment. The first 2 weeks of training passed quickly. Jenny learned makeup techniques efficiently and was improving her hair skills. She felt she would soon be able to assist Mistress with these tasks. After the second week, Jenny was surprised to be summoned by Mistress. Upon entering Mistress' presence, Jenny noticed Mistress's attire before properly lowering her eyes. Mistress wore a long-sleeve, front-button white satin blouse with a long pointed collar, a full black satin skirt that fell below her knee, and 5-inch black patent heels. Her hair and makeup were flawless, and she wore the same captivating perfume Jenny had noticed during the interview. Simple yet elegant gold jewelry complemented her look. Jenny stopped at the prescribed distance and gracefully curtsied. Mistress was pleased with Jenny's progress and how she was becoming increasingly feminine. However, before moving on to the next phase of the training, Mistress needed to offer Jenny a chance to reconsider and leave the program. Mistress approached Jenny, lifted her chin to meet her gaze, and asked if the training so far had met her expectations. Jenny nodded and replied, "Yes, Mistress," then returned her gaze to the floor. Mistress then presented Jenny with the point of no return in her training. "Jenny, at this stage, you must confirm your desire to continue with your training as a submissive maid. Before you respond, let me explain what the next phase involves. If you choose to proceed, you will receive saline implants to develop feminine chests, and there will be no turning back. After recovery, you will undergo rigorous corset training to reduce your waist by at least 6 inches. You will begin wearing satin French-made uniforms like those of Melody and Erica, complete with apron, black stockings, 5-inch heels, and starched crinolines. Additionally, you will use feminine hygiene products as part of your training to simulate a menstrual cycle. For 1 day during this period, you will wear a used pad in your panties, and for a 2-hour segment, you will use a tampon. Other planned humiliations may also be incorporated into your training as deemed appropriate. Ultimately, you will kneel before your mistress and take your vows of submission in the rite of commitment ceremony. Think this over carefully before responding, as an eager decision may lead to future regret. You may now lift your eyes and address me when you are ready. Do you understand all of this? Jenny responded promptly, "Yes, mistress, I understand. I am eager to embrace everything outlined for the next phase of the program. I am ready to accept the feminization of my chests and the stringent corseting of my body with pride. I came here to be trained as a proper submissive and eventually to take my rightful place under the authority of the mistress I will serve. So far, the training has exceeded my expectations. Nothing has changed my resolve, not even the punishments for not learning quickly enough. I understand that humiliation and discipline are integral to the life of a submissive, and I accept them as part of my journey to becoming a respectful and useful submissive. I ask that you continue guiding me on this path to achieving the submissive state I desire." With her response, Jenny respectfully lowered her eyes again. While Mistress showed no outward sign, she was privately very pleased with Jenny's decision to continue. Of all the submissives who had undergone the training, Jenny stood out as the most promising and adaptable. Neither Melody nor Erica, when they began as submissives, showed as much potential as Jenny. Mistress was already considering whether to sell Jenny at auction to a demanding client or keep her and possibly let go of either Erica or Melody. Mistress informed Jenny that her implant surgery was scheduled for the following morning and that Erica and Melody would assist in preparing her. Jenny would need to take a few days off from training to heal, but once recovered, the training would resume with full intensity. Mistress then dismissed Jenny, who returned to her training activities. Jenny struggled to focus on her tasks, preoccupied with the thought of her upcoming feminine chests. This distraction led to a punishment and spanking from Erica and Melody, who, aware of Jenny's anticipation, took a certain pleasure in administering discipline. Early the next morning, Melody entered Jenny's room to prepare her for surgery. Instead of her usual satin lingerie, Jenny donned plain white cotton panties. Melody helped her into a simple open-backed hospital gown, and a ruffled pink satin bonnet was placed on her head. Fluffy slippers completed her attire. Erica then arrived to escort Jenny to the operating room, where the doctor and her nurse awaited. Jenny lay on the bed as Erica and Melody secured her arms and legs in restraints. The doctor explained the procedure. Small incisions would be made under each chest to insert saline implants, creating realistic B-sized chests. Although there would be small scars, they would be inconspicuous. In 2 days, the stitches would be removed, and no further action would be needed. Jenny started to ask why she was getting only B-sized chests, but the effects of the anesthetic prevented her from hearing the doctor's explanation that the corsets would provide the additional size she desired. When Jenny woke, still feeling the effects of the anesthetic, she realized her limbs were still restrained. Melody, who had been waiting by her bed, gently caressed the new contours of Jenny's chest, causing her to sigh at the unfamiliar sensation. Melody joked about making Jenny a complete woman below the waist, but noted that Mistress would not have approved. She then released Jenny from her restraints and advised her to rest for a while. Jenny appreciated the brief respite but was eager to return to her training. Jenny remained in bed until the doctor returned to remove her stitches. She remarked on how well Jenny's chests had turned out, guiding Jenny's hands to her new additions so she could feel their softness and naturalness. The doctor and nurse helped Jenny sit up, reminding her to get accustomed to the new weight on her body. Melody stepped forward, unfastened the hospital gown, and assisted Jenny into a white satin bra, adjusting it for a proper fit. Erica and Melody then helped Jenny stand and take her first steps with her modified body. Jenny acknowledged that her body felt different but appreciated the change. Erica reminded Jenny it was time to return to her room, get dressed, and resume her submissive training. With Melody's help, Jenny went back to her room, gladly changing out of the cotton panties and into the ruffled white satin pair Erica provided. With her new chests and the return of satin lingerie, Jenny felt incredibly feminine. She donned a white satin camisole, and Melody then wrapped a new white satin corset around her body. After fastening it, Erica and Melody tightened the laces while Jenny held onto the bedpost. Melody advised Jenny to take shallow breaths to avoid fainting due to the restrictive garment. Once the corset was fully cinched, Jenny noted a 7-inch reduction in her waist and that her bra was now filled to a full C-cup. Melody adjusted Jenny's panties to ensure the corset's garters were positioned correctly. She placed a sanitary pad for Jenny's first period, inserting a tampon for the initial 2 hours. Jenny accepted this as part of her role. Erica helped Jenny with seamless black stockings, attaching them to the garters, while Melody slipped 5-inch black patent heels onto Jenny's feet and had her step into 2 starched crinolines laid out on the floor. Erica pulled up the crinolines and fastened them securely around Jenny's reduced waist. Seated at the vanity with a pink plastic cape draped over her lingerie, Melody applied makeup to enhance Jenny's appearance. Rose eyeshadow highlighted her eyelids, mascara defined her lashes, and rose blush accentuated her cheekbones. Melody finished with rich red lipstick, giving Jenny's lips a fuller look. Jenny then put on her new black satin maid's uniform, with Erica zipping up the back and pinning a lacy maid's cap to her hair. Melody tied a white lacy apron around Jenny's neck with a large bow, and Erica added long, dangling gold earrings to complete the outfit. Jenny felt she was on the brink of realizing her dream, even though she knew she still had weeks of training ahead to become a fully qualified submissive maid. The following weeks were busy, but Jenny proved capable. She quickly mastered additional hair and makeup techniques, handling any hairstyle or salon treatment her mistress required. Jenny even received a color rinse and permanent, achieving rich, curly golden hair and could replicate the treatment for her mistress if needed. Her nails were regularly painted with red enamel polish, and she became adept at selecting and coordinating outfits to enhance her mistress's attractiveness. Jenny excelled in serving her mistress, whether hosting guests or providing foot and back massages. Wearing the restrictive corset had become something she anticipated daily rather than dreaded. Her waist was now 10 inches smaller, and the corset continued to shape her body into a desirable hourglass figure. The black satin maid's uniform had become her favorite attire. Since the second phase of her training began, Jenny had experienced 2 menstrual cycles, each involving wearing a used pad for an entire day. She accepted this humiliation with the same demeanor she had shown towards both regular and bondage spankings. Though she understood that the spankings were often unjust, she recognized that her mistress held the authority to punish her for any real or perceived missteps. Jenny accepted this as an inherent part of her submissive role and remained satisfied with her decision to submit to Mistress's training. As the end of her training approached, Jenny faced one final humiliation. Mistress required her to handwrite invitations to the rite of commitment ceremony for her family and friends. In each note, Jenny had to explain her actions, the reasons behind them, the training she had undergone, and the significance of the rite of commitment. She also included Mistress's phone number for RSVPs. The day before the ceremony, Mistress informed Jenny that her family and friends would attend, although most struggled to understand her motivations. Jenny's parents had mixed feelings of joy and sadness, but accepted her choice without question. Jenny dropped her towel and admired her feminine shape in the mirror, noting the approving glances from Erica and Melody. However, she was aware that she could not linger in front of the mirror today. It was crucial not to keep Mistress waiting. Erica swiftly draped a white satin bra over Jenny's chests, while Melody secured a white satin garter belt around her waist. Given the special occasion, Jenny, with Mistress's consent, opted not to wear her corset. Jenny then sat on the bed and pulled up white bridal stockings adorned with wedding symbols, fastening them to the garter tabs. She admired the red polish on her toenails peeking through the stockings. Next, she adjusted white satin bridal panties, embellished with satin appliques of doves and wedding bells, and inserted a sanitary pad. She slipped on a pair of white 5-inch heels with ease. Sitting at the vanity, Erica applied makeup and styled her hair, transforming Jenny into a vision of a blushing bride. Melody helped Jenny into a full, ankle-length white satin slip decorated with lace around the hem and bodice. Erica removed the wedding gown from its garment bag, and both maids assisted Jenny into the simple, sleeveless gown. It featured a V-neckline and a flowing skirt from the waist, with no embellishments such as seed pearls or sequins. The plain gown symbolized Jenny's submissive status for the rite of commitment. Although Mistress had not required a bridal veil, Jenny secretly wished she could wear one to complete her bride-like appearance. Melody buttoned the back of the gown and let Jenny see her reflection. As Jenny gazed at herself in the mirror, she felt pleased with how pretty she looked. Additionally, she had just learned that she had earned Mistress's favor and would be retained in the household after the ceremony rather than being auctioned off to a client. Erica returned to the room accompanied by Jenny's mother and sister. Melody and Erica stepped out, leaving the women a few moments alone. They embraced Jenny, complimenting her on how beautiful she looked in her bridal gown. Jenny's mother asked why she had chosen this path. Jenny explained that it was her true nature and something she felt she had to do. Her sister inquired if she was happy with her life now. Jenny replied that she had never experienced such happiness before. She reassured them not to worry about her choices, as everything was turning out for the best. After one final hug and an exchange of "I love you," Jenny was left alone while her mother and sister took their seats for the rite of commitment ceremony. Erica and Melody, dressed in their elegant black satin French-made uniforms, complete with crinolines and heels, escorted Jenny into the ceremony room. All of Jenny's family and friends were present, observing her transformation. Jenny's mother and sister smiled as she entered, seeing her at peace with her decision. In contrast, her father remained seated in shock, struggling to accept his son Jerry's transformation into the submissive Jenny in a wedding gown. Despite his wife and daughter's attempts to explain, he felt a deep sense of shame. Standing at the front of the room with Erica and Melody by her side, Jenny eagerly awaited Mistress's entrance. Mistress soon appeared, gracefully moving toward the front. Although Jenny was supposed to keep her gaze lowered, she couldn't help but steal a glimpse. Mistress looked stunning in a sleeveless, full-skirted white satin wedding gown. The gown's draped neckline, adorned with sequins and seed pearls, accentuated Mistress's lovely figure. The narrow waist suggested that Mistress was wearing a corset. Jenny was then instructed to kneel before Mistress. In the quiet room, Mistress's voice rang clear, addressing Jenny directly. She asked, "Jenny, you have reached the end of your training. It is now time for you to publicly declare your intentions. Do you declare yourself a submissive, committed to fulfilling the desires of your mistress? Do you commit to dedicating every action and deed to benefit your mistress? Do you accept that your mistress has complete control over every part of your body for her use and service? Will you accept any attire deemed suitable by your mistress and offer your service in that outfit? Will you willingly endure any humiliation or punishment that your mistress may impose? Lastly, will you be devoted and obedient to your mistress in all things without question?" Jenny responded softly but joyfully with, "Yes, mistress," to each question. Though she kept her eyes lowered, a smile spread across her face. She had achieved her goal and was now ready to serve Mistress. As the questioning concluded, Mistress announced 2 final actions to complete the ceremony and fully bind Jenny to her service. The first was the symbolic collaring, marking Jenny as Mistress's property. For this ceremony, Jenny was given a white velvet choker with a black cameo. Afterward, she would wear a black velvet choker with a white cameo as a permanent symbol of her servitude. Mistress took the white choker from Erica and fastened it around Jenny's neck. Jenny accepted the collar with pride. The final act was sealing her vows. Jenny was to be placed under Mistress's wedding gown and kiss Mistress's white satin panties. While Melody touched up Jenny's lipstick, Erica helped Mistress lift her gown. Mistress moved forward as Erica lowered the gown over Jenny's head. With the white choker in place, Jenny felt euphoric as she bent forward and kissed Mistress's panties. The mingling scents of Mistress and Jenny's own perfume created an intoxicating aroma for the newly committed submissive. Under Mistress's gown, Jenny felt she had truly found fulfillment and achieved her lifelong dream.